So while at Summer Game Fest, Annapurna Interactive had a huge showcase while they're showcasing all different types of games, and we were able to sit down with a total of 5 titles. We got to sit down and check out D-Topia. We got to sit down and check out Demi and the Fractured Dream, Forever Ago, Silent Hill Townfall, and The Lost Wild. So I'm here to talk about my experience with these titles, and first and foremost, we're going to talk about D-Topia. So D-Topia is a really unique and very relaxing game. It is by the Maramitu Games, and the games that they've usually published have been for iOS and Android or Switch. This is going to be their first really big game, releasing on Steam, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, and of course on Xbox. So D-Topia, humanity in a perfect world. Step into the world of D-Topia in this gentle paced puzzle adventure. In D-Topia, life is curated by artificial intelligence to maximize happiness. As the newest facilitator, it is up to you to solve puzzles, to keep the residential facility running, and resolve problems that go beyond the mechanical. So this is a really calming, relaxing game. It is, like it said, it is, a lot of the game is puzzle based, but it also is kind of, it's a story that kind of stretches from just the basic aspects of puzzle to the struggle that humanity has in general. It's very cutesy, very kind of on the board of like a very wild and, I guess, futuristic anime kind of style look that they have for this game. It's really, really wild. I'm very excited about playing more of this. There is a demo available now, or still should be available now, I think, on Steam. But the game's demo is I think will give you a little bit more of an insight of what this game is about. Within the narrative setting of the game, the D-Topia resident facility is part of the Utopia project, intended to maximize human happiness and comfort through seemingly perfect human society being managed by artificial intelligence. As a new facilitator, it is up to these players to resolve resident issues throughout the community. Also, it says here the facilitator must tackle fun, logic-based puzzles to resolve mechanical issues and to keep the facility running smooth while meeting the many vibrant residents within this facility, each with their own unique story and personal struggles. Your decisions matter in D-Topia, with branching paths and narrative implications based on the player's choice. So it's more than just something that is like a puzzle game. It is a very relaxing, calming experience. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dude. Like, while I was playing this game it was really cool how they had the Annapurna area set up. It was in a really calming kind of area that had these retro areas set up. The D-Topia game, actually, they had like a physical N64 version of the game sitting next to the demo section, and it was very calming. Like, it felt really retro and indie kind of feel that they had all set up, so it just made me get into the game even more. I really enjoyed the art style. It had this futuristic type anime feel and look to it, but also at the same time it had this very unique style of play, because as you were going through this facility and fixing certain little issues or introducing yourself as, the new facilitator, you were doing you had the opportunity of trying out some of these puzzles that were at times were simplistic, but as time goes on, they are more kind of in depth. But there is, like I said, with this game, the unique thing about this game is that your choices will actually change what happens in the game. So it is all narrative and path driven, depending on how you react to certain things, or I guess complete certain tasks in the game. That will actually change the narrative of the game itself, which is a very unique thing to add into a game that is such a first off, is such a small price, because the game is only going to be $19. But also the fact that it has this really unique kind of style of play. It's not something that I think was really on my, I know I've said this a few times, but I was really shocked while I was at Summer Games Fest. There were some of the games that I was scheduled to play that they just weren't on my radar. They weren't games that I was even thinking about. And after playing this game, I was like, man, I've got to play more of that, because it has this very comfort type of feel to it. And the fact that you're like, you're new to this facility as a facilitator, and you're going through and doing these type of puzzles while also fixing the human condition puzzle of trying to better connect with these people that work at this facility. And depending on what you say or do, it'll actually change the narrative of the game. It is very unique. I think that's where Maramitu Games was going with this, is they wanted an expansive experience that didn't just feel like another puzzle game, and having the type of narrative implications and stuff like that change the style of game with those branching paths. It's definitely something that you guys need to play, especially if you like something that is a comforting, relaxing, calming type game that can really make you not just focus on your own personal struggles, but at the same time really make your brain work. So I was really impressed with this game. Next up, while we were there, we got to play I'm going to tell you something. There was a plethora of games while here, but one of the ones that just kind of struck a chord with me in my heart was Forever Ago. So Forever Ago is a very emotional game. It's done by Third Shift Studios, and it's the type of game that I could see like letting my dad, or letting some of these people that don't really play games or don't really understand video games. I think it could really change their perspective on games. So following a tragic stroke of fate, Alfred embarks on a journey north in search for redemption. In this single-player road trip adventure, you'll travel to beautiful places, capture memories with your camera, meet interesting characters, and even make some new friends. So while embarking on this beautiful road trip, you'll see beautiful environments ranging from forest trails to dusty, barren, sweltering deserts. Examine and interact with objects to learn about your surroundings and the people living in these areas. Take pictures with Alfred's good old instant camera to document your journey and solve small environmental puzzles. Play through a lifetime of love as Alfred with your sweetheart Audrey, experiencing true love that transcends time. And I think this game is something really, really special. It's got some really unique art style. I sat down and played this like next to a campfire that they had built up, and it's a really emotional journey. It's about a man, Alfred, that is going on this journey of redemption to really kind of push the limitations of himself as he has gotten older, but also kind of relive these type of situations and areas that he's been through as he had this really sprawling, adventurous life. As I said earlier, I think this is the type of game that can really help a lot of people kind of understand how special video games are and the stories that they can tell, and honestly, the emotional trip that it could take you on, the emotional journey, how it could drudge up a lot of things in your own life while you're experiencing these type of situations. This is a very unique and cinematic style game that showcases how fragile life is and how short life is too. I mean, that's one thing that I noticed while playing the game. Alfred's character continuously was like, you know, he had this kind of sensibility of, or like he had this kind of feel to his character of like, yes, life is really fragile, but at the same time, it's like he's constantly thinking, how did all this go by so fast? I feel like all this just happened. You know, my life as a young man, this adventurous life that I had, and now it's all gone. But it's a very, very heartstring type game. It's something that really made me, I wouldn't say it made me emotional while there, but it's something that definitely stuck with me and made me instantly think, this is something that I want to sit down and like play with my father and play with my mother, or play with somebody that doesn't really heavily play a lot of games, just to see their reaction to the type of story that plays out in this title. I really, really enjoyed my time with this. The graphics and gameplay and stuff were very simplistic, easy to pick up for anybody, and it was just a really great experience. So definitely make sure to add that to your wish list. I don't know the exact date of when this game comes out. I think it comes out fall of this year, but outside of that, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this game, especially if you like those kind of tear-jerker games. I'm definitely one of those people, and this game is for you for sure. Next up, we have Demi and the Fractured Dream. So Demi and the Fractured Dream is done by Yarn Owl, and in this action adventure, you play as Demi and venture through a wondrous world of Somnus. Tasked by a mysterious voice, you must destroy the legendary accursed beast to save the world. Use your attacks and abilities to slay enemies, solve puzzles, and uncover the truth behind an ancient history. So I will tell you this about this game, and I think the two gentlemen that I met while there were two of the main developers of this game, or the main developers of this game, for all I know. Yarn Owl, really, when I talked to them about this game, they were really, really down to earth, and it felt like they were, this was like their passion project. They were very excited to get this game out to the world and experience it. It feels somewhat like a mixture of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with Journey, with like a little dash of like heavy folklore. And I really loved this game. There was one moment in time while playing the demo, I did get stuck on this one little area that you're supposed to use like a leaf to like move the air to move this rock over to this area so you could jump over there. And I kept on trying to do it, and I think like out of the corner of my eye, I could tell one of the developers was going to come over and be like, hey, this is how you do it. But somehow I ended up just getting over there by kind of just like doing it my own way. And they came afterwards and were like, hey, I saw you got hung up on it, but you found a way to get over there. So I said, yes, I did. But it was really, it was a really cool experience. And I think having these type of games go to other platforms is very nice because, like I said, it does have a very type of Zelda feel to it. And having this game, I really hope this game is coming to PlayStation and Xbox. I didn't even check. Like, what is wrong with me? I didn't even talk to them about what platforms this game was coming to, because I was really excited with the gameplay mechanics and the gameplay style. It was so cool, man. Like I said, it really felt like a perfect kind of merger between Journey and Breath of the Wild, which are two of my favorite games. There's even moments in the game that you like. In one of the trailers they released, they showcase like you actually get to kind of like ski or skateboard on sand. But a lot of the gameplay mechanics are really smooth and really fast paced. And it seems like it has a really cool kind of folklore-ish story to it. There's a lot of really wild enemies that you can face off against in the game, but it's also challenging. There's times, like in the demo that I played, you were able to face off against a pretty large boss, and it was a little challenging, but once I kind of understood it a little bit, it made it easy for me to enjoy that experience, because the gameplay mechanics were, or the gameplay and the controls and all that were so they weren't over convoluted, and it felt like a classic style of adventure game that a lot of times we really don't see outside of being pushed out onto a Nintendo product. So I really hope that this game is going to come to PlayStation and Xbox and PC, because I think this is the type of game that I could really see myself and my wife really getting into, doing a lot of the adventures, and kind of jumping back and forth of sharing this experience together. And like I said, it was very, very cool, very folklorish. The game is set to come out in 2027. But I definitely think you need to wishlist this game. I'm telling you guys, I know sometimes I seem like I'm a little over positive, but I don't think you guys understand the type of games that Annapurna Interactive really get around to saying, hey, we're going to help publish this game. We're going to get this game out here for people. There's so many unique games that they have on a constant basis that they're helping bring, because these studios pour in this passion to it that you don't really see a lot of times kind of just come out of the whim. And everything that they showcased this year was just wow. It was really, really great experiences. And this is something that I've been thinking about so much. Like, even when we went back, I think the next day I had a scheduled appointment at the Nintendo section, and we were doing like handheld on stuff. I sat down and played Demi and the Fractured Dream on Switch 2 there for just a minute, and it felt really great on Switch 2. So like I said, I do hope that the game is coming to PlayStation and Xbox as well. Demi and the Fractured Dream. I'm going to say that again. Get it in your head, because it is definitely something that's really cool. Like I said, like the perfect marriage between Legend of Zelda and Journey. It really felt like just such a unique merger of those titles. So the game is actually, there is a demo available on Steam. So if you want to try it out for yourself, you can head on over to Steam right now and download that demo. Next up, we had something that changed the pace pretty crazy. The Lost Wild, which is brought to you by Great Ape Games. True fear is primal. Embark on an evasion-based survival experience against nature's ultimate hunters, dinosaurs. Explore overgrown research facilities nestled in lush wilderness. Be resourceful as you evade, distract, and survive, and unravel the mystery at the heart of this island. So, Great Ape Games talked to one of the developers right after our hands-off impressions of this, and I could tell, they were very excited to be showcasing this game and really kind of be getting this game out to the wild. The game is something that they've been working on for some time. It is something that I think has a lot of potential of being a really unique horror experience that we haven't really seen in a while. I mean, it's like you always kind of wanted, or we have always kind of wanted, like a horror Jurassic style game. And this is it, guys. Like, this is really it. We sat down and watched about a 30-minute or 40-minute gameplay session, and what we saw was really crazy. There was the graphical presentation on this game was really nice, very crisp, very realistic graphics. Frame rates and everything were running like super high. So like as I'm watching this, I'm like, holy shit, is this really happening? There's times that like they said, you know, the lush wilderness, like when you are playing this game and you get into a section of the woods as you're trying to kind of figure your way through things and where you're at and what's going on, you come up on this facility, and while you get into this facility, you see like, you know, some blood splatter here and there. You see all different types of stuff. And then in the demo that we saw, one of the workers kind of comes out and was like, you know, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm kind of lost. I'm trying to get my way out of here, trying to do whatever. And he's trying to like page it in. And as he's paging it in, he is ripped away by something. And you realize it's a freaking dinosaur. And it's like, I don't even know what type of dinosaur it is. It looks like some type of T-Rex or really large predator that begins to focus in on you. And it is horrifying. There were a lot of times while watching the game, it was really funny, actually. One of the developers, as they were playing the game, they were trying to like make a distraction to get the dinosaur to look away from him, and he was trying to throw the bottle like off in the distance, and instead he threw the bottle and it hit this tree right next to him, and the development team was like, uh-oh. And that is something that you do have to take in on this game, is that this is a survival game. It's not like you're going to be able to pick up weapons like you would in like Turok or something and just kill these animals. You have to run, survive, and try and figure out what is going on this island. But it is a really, really cool looking game that I think is going to have a lot of people excited for a different style of horror. You know, I remember watching Jurassic Park back whenever it first came out to theaters in the 90s. And I was to say it lightly, I was shitting a brick while watching that. I was like, oh my God. So this game really kind of gave me that feel, because it takes you onto a plane that movies can't really take you on. You're controlling these characters. Every type of move that you make and decision that you make could be your last. So it is a really cool survival horror game that I am very, very excited for. As I said, visually, it was great. What they showcased to us really kind of showed off what this game is going to really be about. And it's about pure primal horror. And the game is coming to PlayStation 5, Steam, Epic Games Store. No listing at this point in time if it's coming to Xbox, I believe. But it is coming out in 2027. And I think the team at Great Ape Games should definitely be excited for the release of this title, because it is something really special. And speaking of horror, moving on from that, dude, like, man, this last one is wild. Silent Hill Townfall. Now, that game releases September 24th of this year. It is done by Screen Burn Development Studio, and it's man, let me tell you, this game is crazy, okay? That's really the best thing I could tell you. Silent Hill Townfall is going to be something really unique, really special, and I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this game for a really long time. Silent Hill Townfall is going to be just such a unique experience. So in Silent Hill Townfall, you play as Simon Ordell, as he is called back to the island of St. Amelia to put things right. Encountering a town lying quiet beneath a heavy fog, seemingly abandoned, but not at rest. Venturing deeper into the town and driven to understand his connection to the place and its inhabitants, Simon begins to discover fragments of a past rising to the surface. So the crazy thing about this game, of course, is the entire experience is in first person. Simon must explore, evade, and survive using a limited set of weapons and tools, including a CRTV, a pocket television used to tune into unstable signals. The evasion sections are very, very tense, of course, because of what he's facing in this town. Combat is very frantic while navigating this town while you're being chased by these monsters or trying to face them off face to face. I can't. So I'd say face to face, but in this hands-off demo that we got to watch them play, I think the enemies that we were heading up against, to say the least, didn't have a face. They just had like an axe for a head. And it was disgusting and intriguing at the same time. You'll really find this game to be something unique because the narrative-driven puzzles reveal a truth that refuses to stay submerged. Silent Hill Townfall is a full-length, self-contained psychological horror set against the cold, isolated backdrop of Scotland in 1996. So the game is really, really crazy. So the CRTV used in the game, signals come into the CRTV, and it's like signals and audio logs and videos, and it also gives you game hints. One thing that they did say while we were watching this, in this really dark room, had a lot of steam, but we all were able to wear headsets, so it was very centralized. The studio actually re-recorded gameplay and video elements to give it an authentic VHS look on the CRTV. So they took elements that they designed in the game and then re-recorded them through VHS and then uploaded them into the game to make them have that authentic type of look, which was really crazy. CRTV can also visually pierce through walls, showing what is behind the walls, which is going to be a definite tool to use in this game as you evade. Holding the right bumper lets you peek around corners, standing or crouching. When searching in cabinets, you can use the same peeking elements to make it more, and they did that to make it more realistic and immersive. The gameplay seemed very smooth. The gameplay, of course, is also in first person. I don't know why I did my notes like this. Graphical presentation is very crisp, well polished, and realistic, much like a previous canceled first person horror title that I was very excited about that I'm not going to mention. The map is physical and flippable, just in case if anyone wanted to know that. Dynamic enemies change their choice paths. Now, that is something that is definitely really cool. So they don't always walk on the same exact paths. So depending on where you're at, the type of noise you're making, or what is in the surrounding area, these enemies will actually not just walk in the same exact path. They'll walk like an entire area in many different ways, trying to search for a soul to devour or whatever. It was a really crazy looking game. It was very realistic. It was really dynamic, the style of play. And something that they did talk about, you could play how you want. You could play in stealth, or you can just say, screw it, and then try to take them on directly. You can also shoot these enemies. But as you know, this is a survival horror game, so a lot of those elements are very limited. But I really had a hell of an experience watching this game play out before my eyes. It was really, really crazy and very visceral while watching the game. It was nuts, man. It was really, really nuts. First-person elements of the game were really unique. And I think the CRTV element is going to be one of the largest elements in the game that a lot of people are going to be really shocked how this works. It's really cool, really unique kind of look to it, especially the fact that as you're going through the game, you'll actually get these type of you'll get these type of elements that are like either game hints, or you'll have like some video that'll pop up on there. And like at a point in time in the game, they were talking about how the CRTV, or in this demo, they were talking about how the CRTV will pop up with game hits, but it also will pop up with these audio logs, or there will be video that pops up, and it'll be like, you know, somebody that he knows, that Simon knows, that's like, hey, I really need your help. I need you to come back and help me and get out of this town, or you need to come here now. I need your help. But it's like, that's Silent Hill, bro. Like that's the element of Silent Hill. And it's weird to say that there's elements of Silent Hill that are away from Silent Hill, but as we all know, with some of these Silent Hill games, we've seen this over the recent years, that the demonic setting of Silent Hill stretches outside of the original Silent Hill, and especially with it being set in Scotland, there is very unique form factors of like the not with just the gameplay, but the visuals. So a lot of these buildings are really kind of aged. It gives you a somewhat of a different look from what we've seen before in Silent Hill games. The game is, of course, rendered in Unreal Engine, and I'm thinking it's Unreal Engine 5, but it is very visceral, very realistic. If you've been waiting for a horror game to kind of take you there to the edge of your seat, that will give you nightmares, that will kind of make you question anytime you see fog, Silent Hill Townfall is definitely the game for you. I'm telling you, St. Amelia is the new location for us to check out and see what the hell is going on in this town. So the game comes out sooner than some of you may think. It comes out this September 24th. And as I said, it is coming to PC, it's coming to Steam, and it's coming to PlayStation. It is rated M for mature, but it is a really wild experience. I really had one hell of a time watching this game kind of play out before my eyes. But I want to give a big shout out to Annapurna for giving us the opportunity of sitting down and checking out these games. We really checked out some wonderful games while we were at this event. And it was really something special to be able to sit down and try out these 5 games. D-Topia, Demi and the Fractured Dream, Forever Ago, Silent Hill Townfall, and The Lost Wild. So I think for sure you need to get these games on your wish list. Get these games ready for you to play. I am beyond thankful for the opportunity. And I am beyond excited for all of these titles. I really have to say, it was such a great showcase of just masterful game development studios. So thank you guys for watching this long-ended video. It was a compilation video of everything that we got to check out at Annapurna Interactive. And I really appreciate your sticking around for the video. I don't know. Whatever. Come back soon for our hands-on impressions with Among Us and an Among Us title. And, of course, another little Switch title called Rayman Legends Retold. Peace out.